I just came across something very interesting. I was about to publish this podcast and then I found this bit of information and I decided to add it. The original request for the CrowdJustice Fund was 25 grand. Now it's 75 grand. So that explains a lot as to why the CrowdJustice Fund stalled. The amount requested kept on going up and people were confused as to why. It started, the original request was 25 grand. Then it went from 25 grand to, I think, 35 grand. Then it went from 35 grand to 45 grand. And then from 45 grand, they suddenly started requesting 75 grand. And you know what? I think that if they had gotten the 75 grand, it would have gone up again. The amount requested would have gone up, and it would have gone up and up and up. So I was on a live stream with JC last night, but I was late to the party. I was an hour late, but I'm so glad that I listened, and I'll talk about that later. A lot of people want to know why Outback, Outlaw, and Preach Queen have been so silent lately, why they haven't come out and said anything about the Clair Morgan situation. And I actually have a recording of Clair Morgan telling Outback and Preach Queen that she's a lawyer and that she passed with her maiden name. She passed her exams with her maiden name. Now, we know that isn't the case. She also said that she had intellectual property rights. And, you know, she did what she did to AD's channel and all of those strikes fell off. 27 strikes. So they are very aware of what I'm saying and they're very aware of what's going on. Preach Queen and Outback are not stupid people. They know full well that Clair Morgan isn't a lawyer. They know it. They're not stupid. They can see for themselves that she isn't who she was represented as, that she isn't who she said she was. They know. They are very aware. But I think because they have been so in the Rusek's corner for such a long time, it's very, very hard to break out of that. You know, when you've been supportive or you've been on one side for such a long time, regardless of what happens, regardless of what you know, it's very, very difficult to move to the center. So I understand why they've been pretty silent on this front. I understand why they're not saying anything, because they have been in the Rusek's corner for so long and that they probably don't want to, you know, cause any friction or tension. They want to stay on the Rusek side. They want to stay in their corner. They don't want to say anything that's going to ruffle any feathers. I completely understand that. I totally understand that. And I respect their decision to stay quiet on this topic. Now, Frankie has lots of options available to him. He can continue the charade that there's going to be a court case. Some people will believe it. There's a lot of people that are starting to realize that what I'm saying is the truth. And as a matter of fact, I think there is more people now listening to me and believing me, even if they don't want to admit it to themselves. I think there's more people, and I thought that I was completely insignificant on this matter. In the scheme of things, I thought that I was completely insignificant. I realized that people do come to my channel and do listen to me and do agree with what I'm saying. Some people are just not ready to admit that what I'm saying is the truth, and I completely understand that. I think Frankie has a few options. He can continue the charade of a court case. What you'll find is the weeks and months will pass. Things will be said like everything's going well, things are going swimmingly, and you'll find that nothing will come to fruition and nothing will happen. He could do that, or he could admit that Claire was never a lawyer, never an attorney, and give people their money back. I doubt he's going to do both of those things. I doubt he'll ever admit that Claire wasn't a lawyer and give people their money back. That is too much of a leap for him, I think. However, that would be nice if he would admit that Claire was never an attorney, never a lawyer, give people their money back. He could admit one or either of those things, or he could simply give people their money back and not say anything. He could say that she's not a lawyer but not give people their money back. He has quite a few options available to him. I hope he chooses the right option. But this isn't going to court. I've not seen any evidence that this is going to court. And I've had a lot of criticism because of my opinion. People don't like the opinion that I have, but I have the right to have an opinion. I don't have to think like everybody else in a group. I don't have to. I'm not required to. I never signed any contract to say that I have to have one opinion that is the same as everybody else's. I still have empathy and sympathy for the Rusex. I don't like what AD does on his channel with regard to the Watts case. But nothing has happened. No one has been able to stop him. And what he's doing right now is he's playing games because he knows it's not going to court. So he's talking about new evidence that he can get this case reopened, trying to get Cindy and Ronnie to go over to his channel to, take them away from Dave, because he's envious that Dave has a relationship with them. And what way to get their attention to say, oh, I've got new evidence, we can get a new trial going. It's not going to happen, because AD said, I don't know much about this case. I know for a fact that this case is closed. I'm not interested in trying to be popular. Do I like adulation? Do I like to be admired? Do I like praise? Of course I do. I'm human. But I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I'm not going to lose sleep over being criticized for my opinion. I'm not. It's not that important to me. So that was a live stream. What I talked to you about in the beginning of this podcast, that was a live stream that Claire actually did with Preach Queen and Outback. I have that recording and I can publish it. The only reason why I haven't is because I haven't felt the need to. But there might come a time when I feel the need to, and I will publish it. I also have a live stream with Kelly telling Natasha, remember Natasha who sits in the chair? That Frankie Jr. tried to clear everything out of her bank account, tried to get every last penny. We don't know if this is true or not, but we do know that Frankie has a reputation of getting money from women. And he never asked me for money. I think he was smarter than that. I really do. Kelly was a single mother. She wanted to be liked. She befriended the Ruzek family. And Helen, in her own words, said that Kelly kept on giving Frankie money. That's not normal. Why? You're a single mother. Why would you keep giving him money? Frankie's collected a lot of money from a lot of places, and we haven't seen any fruits out of that labor. We haven't seen anything come to fruition with regard to a court case. So people who want to criticize me, I'm not sure I'm the one to criticize. I'm not sure that I'm the one to be criticizing. And there's more too that I'm not going to speak about on this podcast, but I might speak about it on another podcast. Yes, I'm not perfect. Some of you might look at me and think, who does this girl think she is? Maybe if I wasn't me, I wouldn't like me either. And I'm no saint. I don't pretend to be. I'm no angel. I never have been. I've always been a rebel. But I'm not sure I'm the one to criticize. So I was on JC's live last night, and I'm so glad. I just love JC. I like Salty, and I do like it when they do lives together, just like I like it when Outback and Preach Queen do lives together. And I love JC probably as much as I love Bam. So, because people think I'm on the Bam Bam train. So anyway, I found out that Amanda, who I want to thank, had written, and this is what I believe to be the story, although I'm not 100%, because I'm still finding this hard to digest a little bit. Amanda had written a note on what I believe is under Helen's video, saying that, Helen didn't seem to mind when Martin went after me and went after JC. She didn't seem to mind that, Martin has not been so kind about me, not been so kind about JC, to put it mildly. It's an understatement to say that. She only seems to care. Helen only seems to care when she's faced with criticism or not so kind things being said about her, when it's in her direction, but she doesn't care. She doesn't seem to care when Martin says things about other people that are not so nice. And I think that's very, very true. I think Helen is a replacement for Avocado, which she was called Kelly the Advocate. And I think it was Miss Mensa who started calling her Avocado and Guacamole. So a lot of people know Kelly as the Avocado. I think that Helen is basically, Martin does the kind of AD stuff, doing the videos and stuff like that, going after AD, going after me and other people. And Helen does the word salad. She kind of, nothing that she says really makes sense. It's not really about being concise. It's just rambling, airy-fairy, syrupy, smooth, sweet. Everything is going smoothly. She doesn't ever say anything that is objective with regard to the court case, because she wants to be a voice and a spokesperson for the family. And I understand that. And I think she's a replacement. I think she did what Kelly did. I think that she's a replacement for Kelly. That's what Helen is. She did what Kelly did. And, when Kelly fell out of favor and she was no longer flavor of the month, Helen came along, or she was there available. And I think that she's not objective about this court case. She just says what people want to hear, which is the complete opposite of me. Helen says what people want to hear in regard to the court case, in regard to people who support the family. And I say what people would be afraid to say. I can be objective. Some people don't want to be objective. I'm objective, and I'm honest, and I tell the truth. So I definitely think that Helen is the word salad for the Ruzek family right now. She is saying exactly what they want people to say and what they want to hear. And I'm not. And I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that, because I'd rather people come to me and say, I didn't agree with you back then, but you were right. You were correct. I don't think I'm going to get any apology from anyone who criticized me for saying there's not going to be a court case. I think people who even have criticized me and said things like, Claire's a lawyer. She's retired. I think even they know that I'm probably right, but they wouldn't want to admit it.